Boxing Lowdown and welcome to Fan Talk. I'm delighted to be joined by Mr. Gatsby, aka Coach Chudi. Listen, man, we've spoke quite a lot over since we've been following each other online, and it's good to get you on here for Fan Talk, man, because I've always valued your opinion. And we've tonight, and I want to get your opinion on it, man. First of all, we'll start off with the clash that took place at the York Hall, the very brief fight between Josh Taylor and I'm going to butcher his name, Apinon Khongsong, I believe.
Yeah.
First round knockout, man. What did you think? What did you think going in? Because I wasn't. I was like stepping into the unknown. But what was you?
So I wasn't super sold on Khongsong. I went and looked at his record. So quite a few people were saying that he's going to be a handful. But if you looked at his record, he had fought against quite a few people with losing records, and he hadn't fought outside of Asia either. So I thought, well, he's fought his way into being mandatory. But when you looked at that, I kind of thought, well, Josh will deal with him. I didn't think he would do him in a round or a couple of minutes, but I didn't think it would be as hard as some people were making up.
Yeah. I was like, I looked him up as well, same as you looked at his box rec. Fought mainly in Asia. He had the aura and the confidence of a guy who was coming to win, and I'm sure he was, because the start that he made, he looked like that he did come to win, but he just got caught with a great body shot towards the end. And it is what it is, really. I'm sure Josh Taylor will be happy with the win, of course, but slightly disappointed that he didn't get more rounds in him.
Yeah, we didn't get to see much of what he would have been working with Ben. Looked quite patient early on, wasn't getting drawn into stuff, and then I think there was a little break in the action where he kind of lifted Khongsong up, and then after that he kind of put his foot on the gas, went for a little bit, and then he caught him with a left hook, seemingly from the southpaw stance to the body. Initially, it didn't look like much. I didn't see the shot as it landed, but when they showed it back again, it looked like it did a bit of damage. Kind of reminded me of, do you remember Hopkins and Oscar? When that shot goes in and you don't think much of it, and then you see it again.
Didn't look a lot, did it?
Yeah,
it's literally the same as that, actually. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you see it and you think, maybe it did do something. But the way he was on the floor, he was on the floor for quite a bit. So it must have done something to him.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely. And I just saw that Bob Arum is hoping for Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez to get it on early next year. That'll be what we all want to see, isn't it? Really, because we'll get an undisputed title fight then, and an established number one. Do you think Josh Taylor is already the number one in the division now?
Yeah, I do. I definitely do think so. I think after Ramirez is showing against Postal as well, I definitely lean towards Taylor. I think he kind of cemented his place after the Prograis fight. I look at him now and I think he probably does beat Ramirez. It'll be an interesting fight. Not say it's not going to be an interesting one, but I just think he beats him.
Yeah. And last question on that before we move on to Briedis Dorticos. Does Josh Taylor crack your pound for pound list yet, in your opinion, or is he not quite there yet?
I'd say so. I think he's done quite a bit. I think if you look how his fight with Postal was close, but I think he was a clearer winner than, let's say, Ramirez was. Postal isn't an easy fighter to beat, so I think he's definitely shown a bit. Then the fights with Prograis and also what he's done as well in terms of winning titles. So he's on his way to, he could potentially become unified undisputed. So I think he's there.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with you, man. I think he's definitely approached there or there already, for sure. Probably in the lower half of my pound for pound list, but he's there for
definitely
me.
In the lower half.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Briedis and Dorticos then. I mean, that was the World Boxing Super Series Cruiserweight final. I'm not sure how much of it you caught. If you caught the ending of it, it was kind of going on during Taylor and Khongsong, so we caught the most of it. I was like flicking between the two, but going in, I thought Briedis would. It pretty much went how I thought it would. Actually, to be fair, how did you see it? Was it the same for you?
I kind of felt that Briedis would, but I think Briedis came off just short against Usyk last time, and I thought he'd probably do a bit more in terms of winning this time. I think I caught it from, let's say, round 7. I think from what I saw, Dorticos didn't really do enough. Maybe I missed he was doing a lot more in the early rounds, but maybe I missed that because I think Briedis did a good job of boxing on the back foot, and then Dorticos was holding centre ring, but his jabs were just probing. He wasn't really doing anything else. He was missing with the right hand, couldn't land it. The word that sprung to mind for me was ineffective. He wasn't effective with anything he was trying to do, whereas Briedis was landing the more eye-catching shots. When he was boxing on the back foot, he would sneak in a shot or sneak in a counter, and he just looked like he was doing more. He looked a better fighter.
yeah, for someone who knows a lot about the sport like yourself, who coaches and everything, for me, it looked to me that Dorticos wasn't cutting off the ring properly. It just
At
looked like
all,
that
yeah,
he wasn't being effective with his pressure to me.
at all. He was just following him around. And what Briedis did well is that whenever Dorticus looked like he was picking up ahead of steam, he'd throw a double jab just to slow down his momentum, force Dorticus to reset, and he just kept on doing it. And then eventually, if Dorticus was getting close, he would smother, or he would just throw like a sneaky shot whilst on the side. He keeps on throwing the uppercut, if you noticed as well. There was, I can't
Yeah,
remember what round it was, but he threw an uppercut and finished off the combination with a jab, and he did that really well as well, finishing off these combinations with jabs. And what he
yeah,
did is allowed him to establish distance as well. So I finish off the jab, get balance right, establish that distance, and then get back onto his back and moving around. And like you said, because he wasn't pressuring him effectively, it became an easier fight. I wouldn't say an easy fight, but an easier fight for Dorticus.
yeah,
Oh, for
definitely.
Briedis, pardon
For
me.
Brady Shea, yeah.
Yeah,
He executed the game plan brilliantly, in my opinion. Last one
yeah.
before we go. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but we've got another double header on tonight. We've got the Charlo twins in action in the US. My first question is, are you watching it? And the second one is, how do you see them two fights going?
I'm definitely going to watch it. I'm going to set up and watch. I think Jamal is going to have his hands full with Derevyanchenko. I think Derevyanchenko always comes to fight. He's always game, but I think Jamal beats him, and I think Jamal beats Rosario. But don't hold me to that one. I think
Yeah,
Rosario showed quite a bit against J Rock, and I think Jamal is the of the two of the brothers. I think Jamal is the better brother, even though I
agreed.
prefer Jamal. Even
Yeah,
though I prefer Jamal. We discussed this before. I think I said I prefer Jamal. I think
I think
he's
I
got his
prefer
hands full.
Jamal. I think.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about Jamal. I think the hot-headedness of it does it for me. But I think it's going to be a tough fight for both of them. I think Jamal, good jab, very strong jab, and I think that will do a lot for him as well because he's a lot bigger than Thingy. He's a lot bigger than Devenchenko as well. That should help him out. And his jab's very stiff in terms of breaking people up. Like it's a powerful jab, it's a stiff jab.
yeah.
Jamal, pardon me. Rosario's shown quite a decent. We don't know how good he is, but he's shown to be decent against J Rock. So I think they've both got their hands full, but I'm picking both of them.
For sure. I agree. I'm edging both of them, but like you, I could see at least one upset for sure. And it
Yeah,
probably wouldn't even be that much of a big upset considering how live the other two opponents are. But
that's it. 100%.
listen, Mr. Gatsby, man, I'm going to have to get you on again soon, Mo.
100%.
I've been meaning to talk to you for a while, and it's great chopping it up with you. Thank you for taking part in this, and hopefully catch you again soon.
Definitely, brother. Nice one. Thanks for having me on.
Take care, man. Nice one.
Take care.